My husband ignored my pleas about his son for years, leaving an emptiness that festered into something truly monstrous inside our fractured home. They say infidelity shatters trust and scars children, but my secret betrayal with my own stepson didn't just break vows, it risked a kind of ruin few could imagine. This is the true story of how I crossed the ultimate line and the shocking consequences that tore everything apart. The household felt cold even in summer. My marriage to Dave had become a landscape of silence and neglect. He was always busy, always distant. My stepson Mark was 18 then, caught in that difficult space between boy and man. He was the one visible sign of the strain in our family. Dave brushed off my concerns about Mark's withdrawn behavior, his quiet anger. "He's just a teenager," Dave would say, dismissing the deep hurt I saw in the boy's eyes and the growing loneliness in mine. I felt like an outsider in my own home, a common challenge in step-families I later learned. Dave and Mark were the insiders, sharing a history I wasn't part of. My attempts to connect were often met with polite indifference from Mark and a lack of support from Dave. This isolation became a breeding ground for resentment. The foundation of our marriage, already shaky, began to crumble under the weight of unspoken feelings and unmet needs. It created a vulnerability, a dangerous opening for something unthinkable. It started subtly. A shared glance during one of Dave's long work trips. A conversation that lasted a little too long, felt a little too personal. Mark started confiding in me about his own feelings of abandonment, his struggles with his father. It felt like forbidden territory, but the emotional connection was a balm to my own aching loneliness. I knew it was wrong, wildly inappropriate, but the temptation to feel seen, to feel wanted, was a powerful pull against the emptiness I felt with Dave. The lines blurred slowly, then all at once. One evening, fueled by Dave's absence and a shared sense of misery, we crossed a boundary that could never be uncrossed. It was a moment of madness, a destructive urge born of pain and neglect. Instantly, shame and guilt washed over me. This wasn't just infidelity, it was a grotesque violation, a taboo act that felt like poison spreading through our family. I was living a double life, shrouded in secrecy and lies. The affair, if you could call that sickening entanglement an affair, continued in clandestine meetings, hidden touches, furtive whispers. It was a treacherous path, fraught with the constant fear of discovery. Every interaction with Dave felt like a performance, a fabrication built on deceit. The guilt was corrosive, eating away at me. I saw the potential for devastation, the shattered lives, the permanent divide this secret could create. It was a perversion of love, a contamination of family bonds. Research talks about the causes of infidelity: emotional dissatisfaction, seeking validation, relationship issues. Mine felt like a toxic mix of all three, twisted into something unnatural and perverse. The emotional dysregulation was intense. One moment I felt a flicker of connection with Mark, the next, crippling remorse and self-loathing. It was an unsustainable, tormented existence. The inevitable happened during a tense family dinner. A slipped comment, a look held too long between Mark and me. Dave wasn't stupid. The air crackled with suspicion, then exploded into confrontation. The denial felt hollow even as it left my lips, but the truth, when it finally spilled out in a torrent of tears and accusations, was far worse. It was a betrayal trauma that ripped through Dave, leaving him in disbelief, then white-hot rage. The scene was pure agony, the sound of a family shattering. The aftermath was ruined. Dave's heartbreak was a palpable thing, his trust utterly destroyed. There was no shouting, just a chilling silence that spoke volumes of the chasm that had opened between us. The word divorce hung unspoken in the air. Mark, caught in the fallout, retreated completely, the flicker of connection replaced by shame and hostility. Our home, once just cold, now felt desolate, haunted by the ghost of what we were and the monstrosity of what I had done. The legal consequences, the division of assets, the potential custody battles if younger children had been involved, these are the practicalities research mentions. But the emotional scars, the psychological trauma, those are the wounds that may never fully heal. Trust, once broken so profoundly, especially in such a taboo manner, is almost impossible to rebuild. The social stigma, the judgment from friends and family, the label of homewrecker, or worse, becomes a heavy burden. Adultery laws exist, though rarely enforced in many places for simple affairs. But this felt like it transcended simple infidelity. It was a moral compromise of the highest order, an abuse of power and trust within the family structure itself. The pain inflicted wasn't just on Dave, but potentially on Mark's future relationships, and on the very idea of family for all involved. Healing, if it ever comes, is a long, arduous process. Forgiveness feels like an impossibility. Reconciliation. Unthinkable in this context. The research highlights the difficulties therapists face with infidelity cases, the countertransference, the moral complexities. How do you even begin to address a betrayal this deep, this tangled with family dynamics and forbidden lines? The lasting damage feels permanent, an irreversible scar on everyone involved. Many factors contributing to infidelity remain complex and deeply personal, often hidden beneath the surface. The long-term psychological effects on all parties, especially the stepson in such a scenario, are areas needing much more understanding. How does one navigate the world after participating in or being victimized by such a profound betrayal within the family unit itself? If this story resonated with you, or if you're interested in exploring the complexities of human relationships and the consequences of our choices, please like this video. Share it with others who might find it insightful, and subscribe to our channel for more true stories and explorations of the human condition. Your support helps us continue sharing these important narratives.